Disco Elysium. Alright, let's dive into the world of Disco Elysium, a game that has redefined what storytelling in video games can be. If you haven't played this gem yet, you're in for a treat. I have to say, Disco Elysium blew me away with its depth and creativity. You play as a down-and-out detective with a serious case of amnesia, trying to solve a murder mystery in the grungy, fictional city of Ravakul. What makes this game truly stand out is its dialogue and character interactions. The writing is sharp, witty, and often darkly humorous. Every conversation feels meaningful and can lead you down various narrative paths, depending on your choices. The game doesn't just hand you the story, it lets you discover it through exploration and dialogue, which makes it incredibly immersive. One of the coolest things about Disco Elysium is how it handles skills and abilities. Instead of just being stats that affect combat or simple tasks, your skills are like voices in your head, each with its own personality and opinion. This adds layers to your character and makes every decision feel significant. Your choices can lead to different outcomes, and the game has multiple endings based on how you play. It really feels like you're shaping the story with every decision you make. The art style is another highlight. It's this beautiful, painterly aesthetic that perfectly captures the bleak, melancholic atmosphere of the game. Combined with an evocative soundtrack, it creates an experience that's as much about the mood as it is about the narrative. But I won't lie, Disco Elysium isn't for everyone. It's very text-heavy, so if you're not into reading lots of dialogue, it might not be your cup of tea. However, if you love deep, narrative-driven games with rich, complex characters and a story that sticks with you long after you've finished, this game is a must-play. I can't recommend Disco Elysium enough if you're looking for a game that offers a truly unique storytelling experience. It's a masterpiece in narrative design and one of the best story games I've ever played. Life is Strange.
I just wanted to see what would happen if I did this.
I'm gonna kill you.
This game is all about choices and feelings. You play as Max, a girl who can rewind time. It's like a magic power she gets one day. The story is set in a small town called Arcadia Bay. Max comes back to her hometown after many years to go to school. There, she meets her old friend Chloe. Chloe is very different now and she needs Max's help. The story is about their friendship and a big mystery they need to solve. The cool thing about Life is Strange is the choices you make. Every choice changes the story. You can go back and change your decisions if you don't like what happens. This makes the game very interesting because you see how different choices make different outcomes. By the end of the game, the story gets very intense and emotional. There are many ups and downs, and you get really attached to the characters. The game also talks about serious topics like bullying, family problems, and growing up. It makes you think about real-life issues. The ending is very powerful and can make you feel a lot of emotions. Life is Strange is a great story game because it makes you care about the characters and their journey. It's easy to play and understand, and the timed rewind power is a fun twist. If you like stories where your choices matter and change the outcome, you'll love this game. It's like watching a good movie where you get to decide what happens next. The Saboteur. Alright, let's kick off our list of 10 great games no one bought with The Saboteur. This game flew under the radar for many, but it's a hidden gem worth checking out. In The Saboteur, you play as Sean Devlin, an Irish race car driver turned resistance fighter in Nazi-occupied France during World War II. The story is gripping, filled with action, revenge, and a personal vendetta against the Nazis. What makes The Saboteur stand out is its unique art style. The game starts in a bleak black and white Paris symbolizing the oppressive Nazi occupation. As you liberate areas and complete missions, color gradually returns, representing hope and freedom. It's a cool visual touch that makes your progress feel impactful. The gameplay is a mix of open-world exploration, stealth, and combat. You can climb buildings, sneak past guards, and sabotage enemy operations. The game gives you a lot of freedom to approach missions in different ways, whether you prefer going in guns blazing or taking a more stealthy route. The world of The Saboteur is rich and detailed. Paris and the surrounding countryside are beautifully recreated with plenty of iconic landmarks to see and explore. There are tons of side missions and collectibles that add to the game's depth and replayability. One of the best parts of the game is the variety of missions. You'll be doing everything from planting explosives and assassinating key targets to engaging in high-speed chases and rescuing prisoners. Each mission feels fresh and exciting, keeping you engaged throughout. Despite its unique style and engaging gameplay, The Saboteur didn't get the attention it deserved when it was released. It's a game that offers a lot of fun and excitement but flew under the radar for many players. If you're looking for an underrated game with a great story, unique visuals, and plenty of action, The Saboteur is a must-play. It's a fantastic adventure through a beautifully realized World War II setting that you'll thoroughly enjoy.
One day you'll have to tell me how you came by these scars.
Psychonauts. Alright, let's talk about Psychonauts, one of the quirkiest and most imaginative platformers you've probably never played. This gem, developed by Double Fine Productions, takes you on a wild ride inside the minds of some seriously eccentric characters. You play as Raz, a young psychic acrobat who runs away from the circus to join a summer camp for psychic spies in training. Sounds bonkers, right? Well, it totally is in the best way possible. Psychonauts is packed with creative level design, each one reflecting the inner world of a different character. You'll find yourself navigating everything from a giant board game to a twisted 1960s inspired mindscape. The humor is top-notch, with clever dialogue and bizarre scenarios that'll keep you entertained throughout. Now, you might be wondering if it's so good, why didn't it sell? Well, despite its critical acclaim, Psychonauts struggled with marketing and visibility upon its release in 2005. It was a bit ahead of its time and gamers just didn't know what to make of it back then. Plus, it launched on the original Xbox, which was still finding its footing in the market.
Oof. Raz, I'm sorry, but that's not how you...
But hey, it's never too late to dive into this cult classic. Whether you're looking for a game with a unique story, unforgettable characters, or just some good old-fashioned platforming fun, Psychonauts has got you covered. Give it a shot, and you'll see why it's a masterpiece that deserved way more love.
Thanks, man.
Uncharted 4: A Thief's End.
Here we go.
Uncharted 4 is an exemplary tale of adventure, brotherhood, and the pursuit of treasure that brilliantly wraps up Nathan Drake's story. If you're a fan of high-stakes action and rich narratives, this game is an absolute must-play. The story begins with Nathan Drake, now retired from his treasure hunting days, living a quiet life with his wife, Elena. However, his past catches up to him when his long-lost brother, Sam, reappears with a tantalizing proposition: the hunt for the lost pirate colony of Libertalia and its legendary treasure. This setup pulls Nathan back into a world he thought he had left behind. One of the core strengths of Uncharted 4's narrative is its focus on character development and relationships. The dynamic between Nathan and Sam is central to the story. Their bond, filled with shared history and tension, drives much of the game's emotional depth. You see their relationship evolve as they embark on their perilous quest, revealing layers of loyalty, guilt, and sacrifice. The game does an excellent job of weaving in Nathan's internal conflict. He's torn between his adventurous past and his desire for a stable future with Elena. This tension adds a layer of complexity to his character and makes his journey all the more compelling. The narrative explores themes of identity and legacy, questioning whether Nathan can truly leave behind the life of a thief and what it means to chase dreams at the cost of personal relationships. The story is paced beautifully, with a perfect balance of high-octane action sequences and quieter, character-driven moments. The flashbacks to Nathan and Sam's childhood are particularly effective, providing context and depth to their bond and motivations. These glimpses into their past make their current struggles and ambitions more relatable and poignant. The culmination of the story in Libertalia is nothing short of spectacular. The mythical pirate haven is brought to life with stunning detail, and the final act is a thrilling blend of action and emotional resolution. If you're looking for a game with a gripping story and well-developed characters, Uncharted 4 is an unforgettable experience that delivers on all fronts. Nathan Drake's final adventure is one that you won't want to miss. The Last of Us Part 1. One of the first things that struck me about The Last of Us is how beautifully crafted the world is. Despite the bleak setting, there's a haunting beauty to the environments. Overgrown cities, abandoned homes, and nature reclaiming the world are rendered with incredible detail. The game's art direction and environmental storytelling are top-notch, making every location feel unique and telling its own story of the world that once was. The gameplay in The Last of Us balances tense combat, stealth, and exploration, The encounters with infected and human enemies are intense and require strategic thinking. The limited resources and brutal combat mechanics emphasize the harshness of the world, making every encounter feel meaningful. Stealth is often the best approach, and the game's level design supports multiple playstyles, allowing you to tackle situations in various ways. The storytelling in The Last of Us is where the game truly shines. The narrative is gripping from start to finish, filled with emotional highs and lows.
It can't be for nothing.
The relationship between Joel and Ellie is at the heart of the story, and watching it develop is both touching and profound. The game doesn't shy away from dark themes and tough moral choices, making you question what you would do in their situation. The writing is sharp, and the dialogue feels natural, adding to the overall immersion. The game's sound design and music also deserve special mention. The sound effects are realistic and enhance the tension, especially during stealth sequences. The soundtrack, composed by Gustavo Santaolalla, is hauntingly beautiful and perfectly complements the game's emotional tone. The music adds another layer to the storytelling, making key moments even more impactful. While The Last of Us Part 1 is nearly flawless, it's worth noting that the game is very linear. This isn't a sandbox experience, but rather a tightly controlled narrative journey. For me, this works perfectly, as it allows the story to remain focused and impactful, but it's something to keep in mind if you prefer more open-ended games. In conclusion, The Last of Us Part 1 is a must-play for anyone who values storytelling in games. Its combination of a compelling narrative, rich character development, stunning visuals, and intense gameplay creates an unforgettable experience. Joel and Ellie's journey through a ravaged world is one of the most powerful stories in gaming, and it's an experience that should not be missed. If you're looking for a game that will move you, challenge you, and stay with you long after you've finished, The Last of Us Part 1 is the perfect choice.
Some of them call me
Enslaved Odyssey to the West. Alright, let's talk about Enslaved Odyssey to the West, a game that beautifully blends action, storytelling, and a post-apocalyptic setting. Developed by Ninja Theory and released in 2010, this game takes you on an epic journey inspired by the ancient Chinese novel Journey to the West. You play as Monkey, a strong and agile warrior who's teamed up with Trip, a tech-savvy young woman, as they navigate a dangerous world filled with hostile robots and crumbling ruins. One of the first things that strikes you about Enslaved is its stunning visuals. The game's world is a vibrant, overgrown dystopia where nature has reclaimed the remnants of human civilization. It's both beautiful and haunting, with detailed environments that draw you into the story. The character design is equally impressive, with motion capture performances that bring Monkey and Trip to life in a way that feels real and emotionally engaging. The gameplay is a mix of platforming, combat, and puzzle solving. Monkey's agility allows you to climb and swing through the environment with ease, while his combat skills let you take on groups of enemies with fluid and satisfying moves. Trip, on the other hand, provides tech support, hacking into systems, and offering strategic advice. The dynamic between the two characters adds depth to the gameplay, as you need to rely on each other to survive.
Are you okay?
The story is another standout aspect of Enslaved. It's a character-driven narrative that explores themes of freedom, trust, and survival. The relationship between Monkey and Trip evolves throughout the game, with excellent voice acting and writing that make their journey compelling.
Someone, like I feel it breathing! Monkey's right there, it's coming!
Despite its strengths, Enslaved Odyssey to the West didn't achieve the commercial success it deserved. Released during a crowded fall season, it was overshadowed by other major titles. Additionally, its unique blend of gameplay and storytelling may not have immediately appealed to a broad audience. For me, Enslaved is one of those hidden gems that truly deserves more recognition. It's a game that combines beautiful visuals, engaging gameplay, and a heartfelt story in a way that few games manage to do. If you're looking for an adventure that's both thrilling and emotionally resonant, give Enslaved Odyssey to the West a try. Wolfenstein: The New Order. Alright, let's talk about Wolfenstein: The New Order. This game is seriously awesome and doesn't get enough love. You play as BJ Blazkowicz, a soldier fighting against the Nazis in a world where they won World War II. The story is super engaging with lots of twists and turns that keep you hooked. You really want to see what happens next. Plus BJ is a tough guy with a good heart, which makes him easy to root for. You get to use all sorts of cool weapons, and the combat is really smooth. 1 minute you're in a full-on firefight, and the next you're sneaking around trying to take down enemies quietly. It keeps things fresh and exciting. What's great about this game is how it's linear, but in a good way. You always know where to go, so you can focus on enjoying the story and action without getting lost. The levels are well designed, and there's always something new to see or do. The game looks great too. The graphics are sharp, and the environments are detailed. Whether you're in a high-tech Nazi base or a ruined city, everything looks amazing. The sound and music also really add to the atmosphere. Wolfenstein: The New Order didn't get the attention it deserved when it came out. It's got an awesome story, fun gameplay, and looks fantastic. If you're into action-packed games with a great plot, you should definitely check it out. Titanfall 2. Let's talk about Titanfall 2. This game is an absolute gem and often gets overlooked. You play as Jack Cooper, a rifleman who ends up piloting a big badass mech called BT-7274.
This will be useful in direct combat. First floor ready.
The bond between Jack and BT is one of the coolest parts of the game. The story is really engaging. It's a mix of action and heart, and you get to experience some fantastic moments. The campaign is filled with epic battles, clever puzzles, and some really innovative level design. There's one level where you mess with time travel, and it's just mind-blowing.
Reminder, identification credentials must be displayed at all times.
The gameplay is super smooth. You've got these awesome parkour moves like wall running and double jumping, which make moving around so much fun. And then there's the net combat. It's intense and satisfying. Switching between on foot action and piloting BT keeps things exciting. The game's graphics are top-notch. The environments are varied and beautifully designed, from lush forests to futuristic facilities. The sound design is also great, with the roar of your Titan and the blast of your weapons adding to the immersive experience. Titanfall 2 has one of the best single-player campaigns in a first-person shooter. It's packed with memorable moments and creative gameplay mechanics. If you're looking for an underrated game that combines fast-paced action with a great story, you need to check out Titanfall 2. It's a ride you won't forget.
Shield online. The Vortex Shield catches incoming rounds and missiles. Release the button to launch any captured objects back at the enemy.
Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Alright, let's dive into Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. This game is a real hidden gem. You get to play as Star-Lord and lead the quirky and lovable Guardians of the Galaxy crew.
It feels like they're everywhere, laughing at us.
The story is fantastic and full of heart. It really captures the spirit of the Guardians with a mix of humor, action, and emotional moments. The banter between the characters is spot on, and their relationships feel genuine. You'll find yourself laughing one moment and getting misty-eyed the next. Playing the game is super fun. You control Star-Lord and can tell the other Guardians what to do during fights, which adds a cool strategy element. Each Guardian has their own special moves, so you can mix things up. The action is fast and keeps you on your toes. You also get to explore different planets, each one looking unique and interesting. There are puzzles to solve and secrets to find, which keeps things exciting. The game looks amazing, with vibrant colors and lots of detail. The soundtrack is packed with 80s hits that really add to the fun vibe. What I love most is how well the game captures the essence of the Guardians. The characters are well written and feel true to their comic book selves. The voice acting is top-notch, making each character come alive.
I cannot wait to meet our monster.
I thought you were mostly interested in meeting the buyer.
She is a respectable collector.
Is it working?
Yeah, don't worry, Sunshine.
Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy didn't get as much attention as it deserves. It's got a great story, fun gameplay, and fantastic characters. If you're a fan of the Guardians or just looking for a really enjoyable game, you should definitely give it a try. It's a wild, emotional ride that you won't want to miss.
Once the thumpers are placed, we'll meet in the middle and we'll capture the monster. Together.
Quantum Break. Alright, let's talk about Quantum Break. This game is seriously underrated and offers a unique mix of action and storytelling. You play as Jack Joyce, who gets some pretty wild time manipulation powers after a science experiment goes wrong. The story is super engaging. It's all about time travel, conspiracies, and a big evil corporation. What's really cool is how the game blends gameplay with live action episodes. Yep, you heard that right. After you play through a section, you get to watch a live action episode that shows you more about what's happening with the other characters. It's like playing a game and watching a TV show at the same time.
We can't risk any unwanted attention. Convince the witnesses not to talk. Keep eyes on them and send them home. Initialize a PR campaign.
The gameplay is a blast. With your time powers, you can do all sorts of crazy things like freezing enemies, dodging bullets, and even creating a shield. The combat is fast and feels really fresh because you're always figuring out new ways to use your powers. Plus, the environments are super detailed and look amazing, which makes all the action even more fun. Visually, Quantum Break is stunning. The graphics are top-notch, and the way the game handles the time manipulation effects is really impressive. The environments change and shift in such cool ways, making every level feel dynamic and alive. The characters are another highlight. Jack Joyce is a great lead, and you really start to care about him and his fight against the bad guys. The acting is solid across the board, and the live action segments add a lot of depth to the story. Quantum Break is a game that didn't get as much attention as it deserved. It's got a gripping story, innovative gameplay, and fantastic visuals. If you're looking for something different that combines action with a great narrative, you should definitely check it out. It's a thrilling ride from start to finish, and you won't want to put it down.
It was you, the first experiment.
Metro 2033. This game is a hidden gem that deserves more attention. You play as Artyom, a young man living in the underground metro tunnels of Moscow after a nuclear apocalypse. The story is dark, gripping, and full of suspense. The game's world is really unique. The metro tunnels are creepy and atmospheric, filled with mutants, hostile humans, and all sorts of dangers. The developers did an amazing job making you feel like you're really there. The environments are detailed, and the lighting and sound design add a lot to the mood. It's dark and gritty, making every step feel intense. Gameplay is a mix of survival horror and first-person shooting. Ammo is scarce, so you have to be smart about how you use it. There's a lot of sneaking around and using stealth to avoid or take down enemies quietly. The combat is tense, and every encounter feels like a struggle for survival. You also have to manage your resources carefully, like gas masks and filters, to survive the toxic surface areas. The story of Metro games are engaging and emotional. Artyom's journey takes him through different parts of the Metro, meeting various factions and characters, each with their own stories and struggles. The narrative is driven by the people you meet and the choices you make, which can lead to different endings.
Welcome to Exhibition Hunter.
Visually, Metro 2033 is impressive, especially considering when it was released. The Metro tunnels feel claustrophobic and eerie, while the surface is desolate and hauntingly beautiful. The game's attention to detail really pulls you into its world. Metro 2033 is a game that didn't get as much spotlight as it should have. It's got a compelling story, immersive atmosphere, and challenging gameplay. If you're into survival horror or post-apocalyptic settings, this game is a must-play. It's an unforgettable journey through a dark, dangerous world that keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Much worse. Dark ones. Well, whatever in hell they are.
The Order 1886.
Galahad, take cover!
Let's talk about the Order 1886. This game often flies under the radar, but it's really something special. You play as Sir Galahad, a knight in a secret order that protects humanity from supernatural threats in an alternate history Victorian London. The story is what really grabs you. It's like playing through a blockbuster movie. The game is packed with rich lore, combining historical elements with fantastical creatures and advanced steampunk technology. The narrative is full of intrigue, betrayal, and mystery, keeping you hooked from start to finish. The graphics were ahead of their time with incredibly detailed character models, realistic lighting, and beautifully crafted environments. The game's version of Victorian London is dark, atmospheric, and incredibly immersive. It feels like you're stepping into a living, breathing world.
The plague of lichen infestation that has infected our city will only grow more intolerable.
Gameplay is a mix of third-person shooting, exploration, and quick-time events. The shooting mechanics are solid with a variety of unique weapons that fit the steampunk setting. The game's combat is satisfying, though it's the story and the world that keep you coming back. One of the standout features is the seamless integration of gameplay and cinematic cutscenes. There's no jarring transition between playing and watching, which makes the whole experience feel fluid and immersive.
When the noble Arthur sought to contest for truage with the Roman Emperor Lucius, he did not trouble himself with issues of jurisdiction.
Do not presume to quote history to me, Sir Percival.
While The Order 1886 got some flack for its linear structure and relatively short length, it excels in delivering a tightly paced, visually spectacular, and emotionally engaging experience. It's like a roller coaster ride, intense, thrilling, and over too soon, but definitely worth it. If you're looking for a game that combines a compelling story with gorgeous visuals and solid gameplay, The Order 1886 is definitely worth checking out. It's a unique blend of history, fantasy, and action that offers a memorable cinematic experience.
A word.
Tell me, monsieur, about the Lord Chancellor.
What is it, Marquis?
Gears of War.
For a time, the humans of Serra knew the...
Alright, let's chat about Gears of War. This game is a classic and deserves way more attention than it sometimes gets. You play as Marcus Phoenix, a tough-as-nails soldier fighting against a brutal enemy known as the Locust Horde. The story kicks off with a bang. You're thrown right into the action, and it doesn't let up. It's set in a war-torn world where humanity is on the brink of extinction. Marcus and his squad, Delta Team, are humanity's last hope. The narrative is intense, full of epic battles and personal sacrifices. You really get to know and care about the characters as you play. The gameplay is where Gears of War really shines. It introduced the cover-based shooting mechanic that many games use today. You duck behind cover, pop out to take shots, and move strategically through the battlefield. The combat is visceral and satisfying with a mix of brutal melee attacks and powerful firearms. The chainsaw bayonet is iconic and incredibly fun to use. The game's pacing is excellent. It balances intense firefights with quieter moments where you can explore and soak in the atmosphere. The environments are varied, from destroyed cities to underground caverns, keeping things fresh and interesting. The graphics were top-notch for its time, with detailed character models and gritty, immersive setting.
You the Marcus Phoenix? The one who fought at Asfield Fields? Yep. Wow. Cool!
Gears of War is a game that has left a lasting legacy. It's intense, engaging, and incredibly fun to play. If you're into action-packed shooters with a strong story and memorable characters, you've got to check it out. The Wolf Among Us.
A message?
Let's talk about The Wolf Among Us. This game is a real hidden gem. You play as Bigby Wolf, the sheriff of Fabletown, a place in New York City where fairy tale characters live in the real world. The story is amazing. It's like a detective movie where you have to solve a murder. As you play, you find out all sorts of secrets about the people in Fabletown. The story has lots of twists and keeps you interested the whole time.
Have more to offer. Get our ducks in a row. Oh, Crane doesn't like people smoking and...
The characters are what make this game special. You meet fairy tale characters, but they are different from what you remember. They have real life problems and interesting personalities. Bigby, the main character, is really cool because he has a dark past, but is trying to do good.
What's it say about that?
It says Bricklebit in an older elvish hand.
The game is all about making choices. What you decide changes the story and how people react to you. Sometimes the choices are really hard and there's no easy answer. This makes you want to play again to see what happens if you make different choices. The way the game looks is really cool. It's like playing a comic book with bright colors and lots of details. The places you visit are full of atmosphere, whether it's a bar or an old apartment. The voices in the game are great. The actors make the characters feel real and interesting. The sounds and music also help make the game feel like a detective story.
You two need to get a handle on this situation quickly and quietly.
The Wolf Among Us is a game that more people should know about. It has a great story, cool characters, and a unique look. If you like games where the story and your choices matter, you should definitely play this one. It's an exciting and fun experience that you won't forget.
Where is the bottle of wine you were to purchase?
A Plague Tale: Innocence. Let's talk about A Plague Tale: Innocence. This game is a hidden treasure. You play as a young girl trying to protect her little brother Hugo during a terrible time in medieval France.
Hugo, follow me. Now.
The story is gripping. It's about survival, family, and courage. The siblings have to escape from soldiers and avoid deadly rats spreading the plague. Their journey is full of danger and emotion, and you really care about what happens to them.
Don't stop!
The gameplay is a mix of sneaking around, solving puzzles, and some action. You have to be smart and use your surroundings to stay hidden from enemies. The rats are a big threat, and you need to use light to keep them away. It's tense and keeps you on your toes.
We can't let them catch us!
As for the graphics, the game looks beautiful. The environments are detailed and realistic, showing the dark and scary world Amisha and Hugo live in. The visuals are top-notch, making everything feel very real. Plague Tale: Innocence is a game that deserves more attention. It has a powerful story, engaging gameplay, and stunning visuals. If you enjoy games with deep stories and emotional journeys, you should definitely check it out. It's an unforgettable experience that will stay with you long after you finish playing.
3.
Hi-Fi Rush. Alright, let's talk about Hi-Fi Rush. This game is a hidden gem that's all about rhythm and fun. You play as Chai, a rock star in a colorful, music-filled world. The story is lighthearted and entertaining. Chai finds himself in a strange place where everything moves to the beat of the music. He decides to become a hero and takes on a big corporation that's up to no good. It's quirky and full of charm.
That's the defect? Looks suspicious. Could be.
Gameplay is where Hi-Fi Rush really shines. It's a rhythm-based action game where you fight enemies to the beat of the music. The better you time your moves, the more powerful your attacks. It's like playing a mix of a rhythm game and a fighting game, and it's super satisfying. The graphics are bright and colorful. The whole game looks like a vibrant animated music video. The characters are fun and full of personality, and the world is just a joy to look at. The music is a huge part of the game. The soundtrack is packed with catchy tunes that make you want to move. Each level has its own music, and it's all perfectly synced to the action. You'll find yourself bobbing your head and tapping your foot as you play.
I can see that.
Hi-Fi Rush is one of those games that just makes you happy. It's fun, energetic, and full of life. If you love music and action games, this one is a must-play. It's a unique and joyful experience that's sure to put a smile on your face.
If you don't deal with this,
Still Wakes the Deep. Honestly, what to say about Still Wakes the Deep? It's probably one of the best narrative horror stories I've played in many years. The setting is spot on, nailing the whole vibe of Scotland in 1970s aboard one of the most dangerous structures to work on in the North Sea. Graphically, it's the standard you'd expect from the Unreal Engine, creating amazing set pieces, lighting, rain, and water effects. The developers clearly did their homework on oil rigs from that era, since almost every single aspect of the interior and exterior is identical to what you would find on them, even down to the design of the lifeboats, radiators, and other small details. Personally, I think one of the strongest assets of this title is its sound design. With a good set of 3D surround headphones, it's quite amazing to listen to each surface underfoot, the creepy howling of the monsters.
Jesus, Gregor! Gregor! Get away from the edge! Gaz! Gaz! Get back, man! Gaz! Help me!
all the way to the walls and pipes shuddering and creaking from the weather is very immersive. I'm not sure what technology exactly they use for the waves, but this game is probably the first one I've played which actually captures the pure raw power and roar of a storm at sea as it slams up against the legs of the rig, and you can barely hear yourself over the noise.
He's breathing, thank Christ. Kaz, come on. Wake up, Kaz. Why is he not waking up? Can you hear me? Is he going to die, Brody?
Now, as for the story, I won't comment much on it as it would be very hard to not spoil key moments, so to summarize briefly, this isn't a survival horror game. It's not got inventory management or other mechanics such as Outlast, Amnesia, or the evil within, so definitely don't go into this thinking that'll be the case. It's a narrative horror, much like taking part in a movie as the main character and going through an emotional roller coaster from beginning to end. Some will really enjoy it, others will immediately look elsewhere for a more action experience, both of which are fine, but you'll not find that here. That's not to say that there aren't some extremely tense moments and very eerie encounters. In closing, I highly recommend Still Wakes the Deep to anyone that's even curious about it. The story and characters left an impression on me, and even though it was relatively short, it was well worth the time and money.
What? Right, aye, what do you need?
The cable's stuck. Go down and release the main brake, then come back up and raise the bell.
Evil West. Alright, let me tell you about Evil West. Imagine the Wild West, but with a dark twist. It's crawling with vampires and all sorts of creepy creatures. You're not just any cowboy, you're a vampire hunter in a world where the supernatural is very real. What I really enjoyed about this game is the action. You get to use all sorts of cool weapons, from guns to gadgets, to take down these monsters. It's like being in an old school Western movie, but with a horror twist. The combat is super satisfying, especially when you pull off a perfect shot or use a nifty gadget to take down a vampire. The graphics are pretty awesome too. The Wild West has never looked so cool, with dusty towns, eerie landscapes, and detailed character designs. The enemies are both terrifying and fascinating to look at, which makes each encounter exciting, and the sound design, it's top notch. You can hear every bullet fired and every creepy noise in the night, which adds to the whole spooky vibe. Now, the story is something else. You're part of this secret vampire hunting organization, and you get to uncover all sorts of secrets about the monsters in the world they live in. It's engaging and keeps you wanting to know more. Plus, the characters you meet along the way are memorable and add a lot of depth to the game. Evil West is one of those games that you just have a blast playing. It's got a great mix of action, story, and that cool Wild West atmosphere with a horror twist. If you love games that keep you on the edge of your seat and make you feel like a total badass, you won't regret picking this one up. It's a wild ride from start to finish. Sifu. Okay, so let's talk about Sifu. Imagine you're on this intense journey of revenge, playing as a martial artist who's got some serious moves. This game is all about precision, skill, and a bit of patience. The thing that stands out the most in Sifu is the combat. It's like being in an epic martial arts movie. You have to time your attacks perfectly and use different techniques to take down your enemies.
Put that down.
It's not just about button mashing, you really have to think about your moves. The first time I nailed a combo, it felt so rewarding. The graphics are pretty slick too. The art style is unique with this cool, almost comic book-like look. It's vibrant and detailed, making every fight scene feel dynamic and alive. And the environments? They're beautifully crafted, from dimly lit alleys to stylish dojos. Each setting adds to the overall vibe of the game.
This fucking clown. What are you doing?
Now, what's really interesting is the aging mechanic. Every time you die, you get older, which affects your abilities. It's a unique twist that adds a layer of strategy. Do you keep pushing forward or take a step back and rethink your approach? It's a cool way to make you feel the weight of each fight. The story is straightforward but gripping. You're out for revenge, and as you progress, you uncover more about your character's past and the enemies you're facing. It's personal and makes every battle feel meaningful. One thing to note is that Sifu can be pretty challenging. There were times when I had to replay a section several times to get it right, but that's part of the appeal. It's tough, but when you finally succeed, it's incredibly satisfying. Overall, Sifu is a game that really makes you feel like a martial arts master. It's got a unique style, engaging combat, and a story that keeps you hooked. If you're up for a challenge and love games that test your skills, you won't regret diving into this one. It's a fight worth taking. Kena Bridge of Spirits. So, let me tell you about Kena Bridge of Spirits. This game is like stepping into a beautifully animated movie. You play as Kena, a young spirit guide who helps lost spirits move on to the afterlife. The whole vibe of the game is magical and heartwarming. First off, the graphics are stunning. It's one of the prettiest games I've seen, with lush forests, sparkling rivers, and charming little villages. The characters, especially the adorable rock creatures, are so well designed that you just want to reach out and hug them. It feels like you're living in a beautifully crafted fantasy world. The gameplay is a great mix of exploration, combat, and puzzle solving. You wander through these gorgeous landscapes, finding secrets and helping spirits find peace.
Hello, Spirit. I seek passage to the sacred mountain shrine.
The combat is fun and feels good. You've got your staff for close combat and a bow for ranged attacks. Plus, the rock creatures can help you in battles and puzzles, adding a unique twist to how you play. One of the things I love most about this game is its story. It's touching and heartfelt, focusing on themes of loss, healing, and connection. As you help spirits, you learn their stories, which are often quite emotional. It's not just about fighting and exploring, it's about making a difference in this magical world. The music and sound design are also top-notch. The soundtrack is beautiful and fits perfectly with the game's atmosphere. The sound effects, from the rustling leaves to the gentle voices of the spirits, make the world feel alive. If I had to point out something, it's that the game can be a bit challenging at times, especially during some of the boss fights, but it's never unfair, and figuring out the best strategy to win feels rewarding. Kena Bridge of Spirits is a game that you just fall in love with. It's visually stunning, emotionally engaging, and so much fun to play. If you're looking for a game that's both beautiful and heartfelt, you won't regret picking this one up. It's like going on a magical adventure that you'll remember long after you finished it. Robocop Rogue City. Alright, let's dive into Robocop Rogue City. Imagine stepping into the metallic shoes of Robocop, the iconic cyborg law enforcer from the 80s. This game is all about bringing that nostalgic, gritty, futuristic Detroit to life, and it does it pretty well. First off, the game nails the atmosphere. You feel like you're in a dystopian future with all the neon lights, shady alleyways, and high-tech gadgets. The graphics are solid, capturing the essence of the original movies while giving it a modern twist. The city feels alive, and it's filled with all sorts of characters and criminals that make your job as Robocop quite exciting. The combat is where the game shines. As Robocop, you're practically a walking tank. You've got all these cool weapons and abilities at your disposal. Whether you're blasting enemies with your trusty Auto 9 or using your built-in tech to scan for threats, every encounter feels intense and action-packed. The slow-motion targeting system is a blast, making you feel like a true cyborg superhero as you take down bad guys with precision. What's really cool is how the game incorporates investigation elements. You're not just shooting your way through the city, you're also solving crimes and uncovering conspiracies. It's a nice change of pace that adds depth to the gameplay. You get to use Robocop's advanced tech to analyze crime scenes, hack into systems, and piece together clues.
Somebody dumped her a few feet from here. The blood traces on the ground indicate she was dragged. Nasty wound. Looks like she was hit with a blunt object.
The story is pretty engaging too. It's a new tale set in the Robocop universe, and it's filled with twists and turns that keep you hooked. You meet familiar faces and new characters, all while trying to clean up the streets of Detroit. The dialogue is well written and captures that gritty, no-nonsense vibe that fans of Robocop love. Overall, Robocop Rogue City is a blast. It's got that perfect mix of action, strategy, and nostalgia. If you're a fan of the original Robocop movies or just love a good action game with a bit of depth, you won't regret picking this one up. It's a great way to step into the world of Robocop and take on the bad guys in style.
Trevor Hills, 28, senior account manager at INAC, although I'm not sure about that anymore.
American Arcadia. Alright, let's chat about American Arcadia. Imagine a world where you're living in a 1970s retro-futuristic utopia, but there's a catch: it's all being broadcasted as a reality TV show, and you don't even know it. Sounds wild, right? The game's setting is one of its best features. The whole retro-futuristic vibe is super cool with bright colors, funky designs, and this eerie feeling of being watched. It's like stepping into a sci-fi movie from the 70s. The graphics are really charming and capture that era perfectly, making you feel like you're part of a groovy yet unsettling world.
Hello, citizens. We have a new Edge Travel Grant winner. His name...
The story is what really hooks you. You play as a character who starts to realize that their perfect life in Arcadia is a bit too perfect, and something fishy is going on. It's got a great mix of suspense and intrigue as you try to uncover the truth about this bizarre reality TV show setup.
I have to send all these Ada memos by myself now that Gus is gone.
The characters you meet along the way are memorable and add a lot of depth to the narrative. Gameplay-wise, American Arcadia combines exploration, puzzle solving, and stealth elements. You're sneaking around, trying to avoid the ever-watchful cameras, and uncovering secrets that the producers don't want you to find. The puzzles are clever and fun, making you think without being too frustrating. It's a nice balance that keeps the game engaging. One of the coolest aspects is how the game makes you feel like you're part of this twisted TV show. You get these moments where the producers try to throw obstacles your way, making it feel like they're actively trying to keep you from discovering the truth. It adds a layer of tension that keeps you on your toes. If there's one thing to keep in mind, it's that the game can sometimes feel a bit slow. It's more about the story and the atmosphere than fast-paced action. But if you're into games that make you think and have a unique narrative, this won't be a problem. Overall, American Arcadia is a fascinating game that blends a unique setting with an engaging story and fun gameplay. If you love games that offer something a bit different and keep you hooked with their mystery and charm, you won't regret diving into this one.
Wait, you jumped into a swimming pool from the 20th floor of a building?
Yes, and while I think it's pretty obvious, I'm not exactly a daredevil.
My name is Zoe Walker. Not so long ago, I wanted to be a...
As Dusk Falls. This game is like diving into a very interesting visual novel-style interactive drama where every choice you make can change the course of the story. It's one of those games that really pulls you in with its narrative and keeps you hooked from start to finish. First off, the story is absolutely amazing. You're following two families over the course of several decades, and their lives get intertwined in the most unexpected ways. It's filled with intense moments, big decisions, and lots of drama. The game does a fantastic job of making you care about the characters and their struggles. Each choice feels significant, and you're constantly wondering what might happen next. The art style is pretty unique too. It's got this cool graphic novel look with hand-painted visuals that make it feel like you're playing through a comic book. It's different from anything I've seen before and adds a lot of charm to the game. Gameplay-wise, as Dusk Falls is all about making choices and seeing how they affect the story. It's not about fast-paced action or complex puzzles, it's about the narrative and the decisions you make. There are moments where you have to react quickly, and others where you have to think about what's best for the characters. It's a game that really makes you feel involved in the story. One of the best parts is how the game handles multiple perspectives. You get to see the story from different characters' viewpoints, which adds a lot of depth and makes you understand their motivations better. It's a bit like watching a TV show where you're in control of what happens next. Now, here's the thing. When I first started this game, I was like, what the hell are these graphics? Like, the game was made in 1998 itself, by the way, the story takes place in 1998. But as I went, I personally actually really got into it. It's like a book in a sense that when there is no visual overload, your brain compensates and completes the picture and the action in your head. I found this style very unusual, but somehow I really loved it. Another thing that I loved about this story compared to similar Choices Matters games is that the choices are fair. There were no situations where I could blame the game for wording the choice in a misleading way. Overall, as Dusk Falls is a must-play for anyone who loves a good story-driven game, it's got an engaging plot, unique visuals, and choices that really matter. If you're looking for a game that's more about the narrative and less about action, you won't regret picking this one up. It's like experiencing an interactive drama where every decision counts.
Sorry to lock you up like this.
Indika. Indika is a Russian game where you play as a nun that talks to the devil, and her name is shockingly Indika. Indika is also a very political game per director's own words. It's commentary on the Eastern Orthodox Church and political situation in Russia, how the Orthodox Church takes advantage of people to further agenda of the powers that be the earthly, not the heavenly. There is no specific genre or neat box you can put Indika into. It tries a lot of different things. It's mostly third-person perspective game where you have to solve various puzzles to progress, but it is also a 2D platformer and a 2D racing game, and some other genres.
For the sake of the prayers of all the... Stesha, do you have something prepared for Smaragda?
While this game doesn't necessarily stand out in any specific way in any of those, it stands out in how it combines all of those creatively to deliver a very humane, but also tragicomic story. While a lot of commentary on religion feels like something you have seen before, if you ever showed any interest or discussed atheism, it's put well into writing that feels very energetic and flows well. The story is best experienced by yourself and by going in as blind as possible. It doesn't overstay its welcome, clocking around 4 hours for me. Understandably, the ham-fisted messaging might not resonate with everyone, but it's worth experiencing. Visually, the game is beautiful and nigh photorealistic in many cases. Game uses that photorealism very well with its bizarre art direction, where you have lifelike looking bizarre architecture, machines, and monstrosities. It's a very fun contrast that helps set the sombre, but also tongue-in-cheek mood and atmosphere. Orally, it's also very well done. The music complements the game well, though there isn't much that stands out by itself. Voice acting performances are well acted both in English and Russian. Together with immersive sound effects, they really manage to sell you on atmosphere of a place, no matter how bizarre it may look. That crunch when walking on snow is really damn good. While definitely ambitious, it's clear the game was made by a small team. Modern technologies such as Unreal Engine 5 help them punch way above their weight, but the smaller team and budget is still visible in the occasional jank. And since the game looks so photorealistic, it can be sometimes difficult to tell what to interact with. This leads some puzzles not feeling very intuitive, but nothing that should put you off the game. Overall, I really liked Indika, and I liked it because it was a huge swing to try to express something and try something new. It definitely wasn't a miss, and I am not sure entirely how far the ball flew in the end, but the swing itself was beautiful.
Be interested in the lives of the saints.
Pentiment. Alright, let's dive into Pentiment, a game that's a real treat for anyone who loves narrative-driven experiences and rich, historical settings. If you're into story-focused games with unique art styles, this one's a hidden gem. You play as Andreas Mahler, a journeyman artist in 16th century Bavaria. The game revolves around a series of mysterious events and murders in the small town of Tassing and the nearby Kiersau Abbey. It's up to you to uncover the truth behind these mysteries, making decisions that impact the community and its future. It's like reading a beautiful visual novel with a very linear story. which might be off-putting for some people. Pentiment starts up very promising, quite an interesting world and characters to interact, and it gets quite tense with the murder investigations. There's so many interesting clues and evidences to gather, making you feel like a Sherlock Holmes in 16th century accompanied by amazing art style and lots of historical and literary references. Pentiment is like the folklore game I've always wanted to play. It's the medieval-ish Renaissance game I've always wanted to play. It's the murder mystery game I've always wanted to play. It scratches so many aesthetic itches that it's hard to know where to begin the praise, but I think I'll start with the deep appreciation of folklore that this game embodies. The game is really well researched, cited, and able to be referenced immediately in an illustrated glossary, fun to interact with through an easy-to-use UI, and versatile in its artistic rendering. In fact, everything you learn about this game is backed up by research that is readily available. Pentiment wants players to know that reading is not only essential to their success in the game, but also, as emphasized by its diverse cast of characters in different classes, an incredible privilege to be able to accomplish at one's leisure. The characters are beautifully fleshed out, believable, and diverse in their representations of early modern classes in class warfare. I loved every single one of them and fostered connections with them more than I have compared to other games. The time you spend with people is imperative for not only peace of mind and communal relations, but also communication and cultural knowledge. It's great that something like this can represent that in a video game. Now, the game is essentially a medieval murder mystery, but it's much more than that. The narrative is deep and multi-layered, exploring themes of faith, power, and the passage of time. Your choices matter a lot, shaping the story in significant ways. It's all about the dialogue and the relationships you build with the townsfolk. The art style is one of a kind. The game looks like a living manuscript, with visuals inspired by illuminated manuscripts in early print. It's colorful, detailed, and utterly charming. This unique style sets the mood perfectly and pulls you into the world of 16th century Europe. Gameplay-wise, Pentiment is all about exploration and conversation. There's no combat or fast-paced action here, just a lot of intriguing dialogue and detective work. You'll spend your time talking to characters, gathering clues, and making decisions that drive the story forward. It's a game that rewards patience and attention to detail. The historical accuracy and attention to detail are impressive. The game does a fantastic job of bringing the period to life, from the social dynamics to the daily routines of the characters. It feels like stepping into a different time, and you can tell a lot of love and research went into creating this world. So, if you're looking for an overlooked double-A game that offers a unique, narrative-rich experience, Pentiment is definitely worth checking out. It's a beautifully crafted game that immerses you in its historical setting and keeps you hooked with its compelling story and characters. Bramble the Mountain King.
She was never scared like...
Alright, let's talk about Bramble the Mountain King, a game that's a true hidden gem for anyone who loves atmospheric adventures with a touch of folklore. If you're into games that blend beautiful visuals with a dark fairy tale story, this one's for you. In Bramble the Mountain King, you embark on a journey through a magical world inspired by Nordic folklore. You play as a young boy trying to save his sister from the clutches of the terrifying Mountain King. The story is enchanting and eerie, filled with mythical creatures and dark legends that pull you in from the start. The game's visuals are absolutely stunning. Bramble is like stepping into a beautifully illustrated storybook with lush forests, sparkling rivers, and ominous caves. The art style perfectly captures the magic and danger of the world, making every scene a feast for the eyes. The attention to detail in the environments and character designs is truly impressive. Gameplay-wise, Bramble combines exploration, puzzle solving, and platforming. The puzzles are clever and fit seamlessly into the world, challenging you to think creatively as you navigate through various obstacles. The platforming elements are smooth and enjoyable, adding a layer of excitement to the exploration. It's not just about the challenge, though, it's about immersing yourself in this rich, atmospheric world. Bramble the Mountain King is not just about its stunning visuals and engaging gameplay, it's also about the emotional journey. The bond between the siblings and the perilous adventure they undertake adds depth to the story, making it resonate on a personal level. It's a game that combines heart with mystery, keeping you invested in the outcome. One of the best things about Bramble is how it brings folklore to life. The mythical creatures you encounter are both fascinating and frightening, each with its own story and place in the world. It's a game that respects its source material and uses it to create something truly unique and captivating. If you're looking for an overlooked gem that offers a beautiful, haunting adventure, Bramble the Mountain King is definitely worth checking out. It's a game that blends gorgeous visuals, engaging puzzles, and a touching story to create an experience that stays with you long after you've finished. Vampyr.
Punishment. A righteous snare to keep mankind from us.
Alright, let's talk about Vampyr. A game that's all about dark choices, gritty atmosphere, and a deeply engaging story. If you're into gothic settings and moral dilemmas, this game should definitely be on your radar. In Vampyr, you step into the shoes of Dr. Jonathan Reed, a doctor who's been turned into a vampire. Set in post-World War I London during the Spanish flu pandemic, the game oozes atmosphere and has a setting that's both haunting and beautiful. The story follows Jonathan as he struggles with his new vampiric nature while trying to save the city from the deadly outbreak. One of the coolest things about Vampyr is its focus on choices and consequences. As a doctor and a vampire, you're constantly torn between your Hippocratic oath and your thirst for blood. Every decision you make affects the game world and the people around you. Do you feed on a citizen to gain strength, or do you resist and try to help them? These choices shape the narrative and can lead to multiple endings, adding a ton of replayability.
Get out of here!
The combat is pretty intense, mixing melee and ranged attacks with vampiric powers. You'll have to manage your blood supply carefully, using it to heal or unleash powerful abilities. It's a nice balance of action and strategy, and the difficulty can be quite challenging if you choose to abstain from feeding on innocent people.
The strength I never knew I had. This shouldn't be possible.
He's dead!
Visually, Vampyr is fantastic. The game's depiction of 1918 London is dark, atmospheric, and full of detail. The environments are meticulously crafted, from the foggy streets to the eerie, abandoned buildings. The character models and animations are also well done, making the interactions feel genuine and immersive. The story is a major highlight. It's rich with lore and filled with interesting characters, each with their own backstories and secrets. As you explore the city, you'll uncover various subplots and mysteries that deepen the overall narrative. The dialogue is well written, and the voice acting adds a lot of depth to the characters, especially Jonathan Reed. Vampyr might not have the massive budget of a AAA game, but it more than makes up for it with its ambition and heart. The focus on moral choices and the impact of your decisions make it stand out in the action RPG genre. If you're looking for an overlooked gem that combines a compelling story with intense gameplay and a rich, atmospheric world, Vampyr is definitely worth checking out.
Thirsty. So thirsty.
Ghostwire Tokyo. Alright, let's talk about Ghostwire Tokyo, a game that blends supernatural action with a hauntingly beautiful version of Tokyo. If you're into creepy atmospheres, supernatural powers, and exploring a city like never before, this game is a must-play. In Ghostwire Tokyo, you find yourself in a Tokyo where almost everyone has mysteriously vanished, leaving the city eerily empty and filled with supernatural beings. You play as Akido, a young man possessed by a spirit detective named KK, who grants him mystical powers. Together, they need to uncover the mystery behind the disappearances and deal with the otherworldly threats that have taken over the city. What makes Ghostwire Tokyo stand out is its unique combat system. Instead of traditional weapons, you use a combination of elemental magic and spiritual abilities. You can shoot fireballs, summon wind blasts, and even use water to defeat your enemies. The combat feels fluid and dynamic, and it's super satisfying to use these powers against the creepy spirits haunting the city. The game's version of Tokyo is absolutely stunning. The developers have created a detailed, atmospheric rendition of the city, blending real-world locations with supernatural elements. The neon lights, dark alleys, and empty streets create an eerie yet captivating environment. Exploring Tokyo is a thrill in itself, with lots of hidden secrets, collectibles, and side missions that add depth to the game. The story in Ghostwire Tokyo is intriguing and filled with Japanese folklore and mythology. As you progress, you'll encounter various yokai spirits and learn about their backgrounds and motivations. The narrative does a great job of mixing horror and action, keeping you engaged with its mysterious and often creepy plot twists. Visually, the game is a treat. The graphics are top-notch with impressive lighting effects and detailed environments that make the supernatural version of Tokyo feel alive. The character and enemy designs are also well done, adding to the overall atmosphere of the game. Ghostwire Tokyo is a game that offers a lot of content, the main quest is engaging, but there are also plenty of side activities and optional missions that flesh out the world and provide more challenges. It's a game that encourages exploration and rewards you for taking the time to uncover all its secrets. If you're looking for an overlooked gem that combines supernatural action, an atmospheric setting, and an intriguing story, Ghostwire Tokyo is definitely worth checking out. Max Payne. Alright, let's talk about Max Payne, a game that set the bar high for storytelling and action in video games, but often gets overlooked these days. This game is an absolute classic that deserves all the praise and more. So, Max Payne throws you into the shoes of, well, Max Payne, a gritty, hard-boiled NYPD detective turned vigilante. The story kicks off with a gut punch. Max's family is brutally murdered and he's out for revenge. What makes this game stand out is its incredible narrative. It's dark, intense, and packed with twists that keep you hooked from start to finish. It feels like you're playing through a noir crime novel complete with moody, rain-soaked streets and seedy underworld characters.
Trio.
Now, let's talk gameplay. Max Payne introduced the world of bullet time, you know, that super cool slow motion gunplay that lets you dodge bullets and take out enemies with style. It's like stepping into the Matrix but in a gritty noir setting. The gunfights are intense and incredibly satisfying. Diving through the air in slow motion while unloading a barrage of bullets never gets old. The graphics were groundbreaking for their time. Sure, they might look a bit dated now, but the game's artistic style holds up. The use of comic book panels to tell the story is genius and adds a unique flair that makes the narrative even more engaging. Each panel is detailed and beautifully drawn, pulling you deeper into Max's world. The atmosphere in Max Payne is top-notch. The dark, brooding soundtrack sets the perfect mood, making you feel every bit of Max's pain and determination. What really makes Max Payne a masterpiece, though, is its storytelling. It's not just about the revenge plot, it's about Max's descent into his own personal hell and his struggle to climb out of it. The game tackles themes of loss, despair, and redemption in a way that few games dared to at the time. The level design is another highlight. Each location, from grimy apartments to shadowy warehouses, is meticulously crafted, adding to the overall immersive experience. The game constantly keeps you on your toes with new challenges and enemies, making it a thrilling ride from start to finish. If you've never played Max Payne, or it's been a while, it's time to revisit this forgotten gem. It's a game that defined a genre and still stands as one of the best examples of storytelling and action in video games. Max's journey is one you won't forget, and the gameplay is just as thrilling now as it was back then. Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. Alright, let's talk about Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, a game that's a real classic and an absolute joy to play. This game is like stepping into a fantastic adventure movie. You play as the prince, a young warrior who gets his hands on a magical dagger that can control time. The story starts when the prince accidentally unleashes the sands of time, turning everyone in the kingdom into monsters. Now, it's up to him to fix everything and save the day. What makes this game so special is the way you move around. The prince can run up walls, jump across gaps, and swing on poles with amazing agility. The controls are smooth, and it feels really cool to pull off all these acrobatic moves. The game is full of tricky platforming sections where you need to use all your skills to get through. The combat is also a lot of fun. You fight with a sword and use the magical dagger to freeze and rewind time. This means if you make a mistake, you can rewind and try again, which is super handy. The enemies get tougher as you go, so you need to get better at using your moves and the dagger's powers. The puzzles in the game are really well done. They make you think, but they're not too hard. You'll need to figure out how to use the environment and your abilities to solve them. It's very satisfying when you finally figure out how to get past a tough spot. The story is exciting and keeps you hooked. The prince is a great character, and his journey is full of twists and turns. The voice acting is really good, especially for the prince and the other main characters, which makes the story even more engaging. Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time is a game that's easy to love. It's got action, puzzles, a great story, and amazing acrobatics. If you've never played it, you're in for a treat. It's one of those games that stays with you long after you've finished it, and it's definitely worth revisiting.
It has been said.
Telltale's Jurassic Park. Alright, let's chat about Telltale's Jurassic Park, a game that takes you back to the thrilling and dangerous world of dinosaurs. If you're a fan of the Jurassic Park movies, this game is like stepping right into the action. The game is set during the events of the first Jurassic Park movie, but it tells a new story with different characters. You follow a group of people who are trying to survive on the island after the dinosaurs escape. There's a mix of scientists, mercenaries, and even a young girl, each with their own reasons for being there. What's really cool about Telltale's Jurassic Park is how it focuses on the story. It's like an interactive movie where your choices affect what happens next. You'll be making decisions that can change the outcome of the story, so you've got to think carefully about what you do. It makes you feel like you're part of the adventure, and every choice adds to the tension. The gameplay is mostly about exploring and solving puzzles. You'll be looking for clues, figuring out how to get past obstacles, and dealing with the dinosaurs. There are also quick time events where you have to press buttons at the right time to escape danger or complete an action. It keeps you on your toes and adds to the excitement. Now, honestly, I've never heard anyone talking about this game, and my opinion is that shouldn't be looked as a game with lots of action, but more like an interactive movie. It's more about the story and the decisions you make. If you're looking for a fast-paced shooter, this isn't it. But if you love a good story and enjoy making choices that impact the game, then you'll have a great time.
That's great. Thanks a lot. Very helpful.
Telltale's Jurassic Park is a forgotten gem that's worth playing, especially if you're a fan of the movies. It brings the excitement and danger of Jurassic Park to life in a new and interactive way. So if you're ready for a thrilling adventure filled with dinosaurs and tough choices, give this game a try. You won't be disappointed.
Oh, a sewer. How quaint. Does anybody remember how to play?
Deadpool. Alright, let's dive into the Deadpool game. If you love Deadpool's crazy humor and antics, then this game is going to be a blast for you. So, you play as Deadpool, the wild and wacky anti-hero we all know and love. From the moment you start the game, Deadpool is breaking the fourth wall, talking directly to you, and cracking jokes left and right.
In my game, you get points for killing baddies.
It's like having a buddy who's just as sarcastic and unpredictable as you'd expect. The gameplay is a mix of hack and slash combat and shooting. You've got swords, guns, and a bunch of other weapons that you can switch between. The combat is super fun and over the top. You can pull off some pretty sweet moves and combos, and there are special attacks that make everything even crazier. It's like a big chaotic dance of destruction, and Deadpool makes sure you enjoy every minute of it.
I'll be in my penthouse. Don't let that clown get in here.
Penthouse, huh?
The story is as nuts as you'd imagine. Deadpool's on a mission that's basically an excuse for him to do whatever the hell he wants. There are lots of twists and turns, and it's all wrapped up in his unique sense of humor. He's constantly making fun of the villains, the game, and even you. It's a wild ride, and you never really know what's going to happen next. What I love most about this game is the humor. It's packed with jokes, funny dialogue, and ridiculous situations. Deadpool's personality shines through in every part of the game. There are so many laugh-out-loud moments, whether he's mocking the enemies, the game itself, or just going off on some random tangent. It's always entertaining.
Let's try something a little better.
Nolan North voices Deadpool, and man, he nails it. His performance is spot on, bringing all the characters' charm and craziness to life. The voice acting in general is great, adding to the overall fun and chaotic atmosphere. Now, the game can get a bit repetitive sometimes. The combat doesn't change much as you go on, and some of the jokes might not always hit the mark. But honestly, if you're a Deadpool fan, you're probably going to be having too much fun to care.
To embarrass me.
Overall, the Deadpool game is just a blast. It's silly, chaotic, and full of the humor and action you'd expect from Deadpool. If you're looking for a game that's all about having a good time and not taking itself too seriously, this is it.
I'm crazy for... This must be my style.
But I will show you what lies behind my eyes.
Hellblade 2 Senua's Saga. If you're into breathtaking visuals and intense storytelling, Hellblade 2 Senua's Saga should be on your radar. This game is a follow-up to the critically acclaimed Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, and it takes things up a notch with even more stunning graphics and immersive experience. The story continues the journey of Senua, a warrior struggling with mental illness and facing dark, mythical forces. Set in a world inspired by Norse mythology, the game's narrative dives deep into Senua's psyche as she battles both external foes and her inner demons. The visuals in Hellblade 2 are absolutely jaw-dropping. The game uses cutting-edge technology to bring its dark fantasy world to life. From the intricately detailed character models to the expansive, atmospheric environments, every aspect of the game's graphics is crafted to pull you into its hauntingly beautiful world. The gameplay focuses on intense, visceral combat and puzzle solving. You'll face off against fearsome enemies, solve environmental puzzles, and experience a story that's as emotionally gripping as it is visually impressive. The game's use of motion capture and voice acting is top-notch, making Senua's struggles and triumphs feel incredibly real.
Don't let them capture you again. Are you going to let it kill me? Oh, this guy will die now.
One of the standout features is the sound design. The game uses binaural audio to create a rich, immersive soundscape that enhances the feeling of being inside Senua's world. It's like you're right there with her, hearing and feeling everything she does. Overall, Hellblade 2 Senua's Saga is a visual masterpiece with a powerful story and immersive gameplay. If you're looking for a high graphics game that pushes the boundaries of storytelling and visuals, this one's definitely worth playing. Control. So, let me tell you about Control. This game is like diving headfirst into a trippy sci-fi mystery, and it's a wild ride from start to finish. You play as Jessie Faden, who's searching for her missing brother. Her journey leads her to the Federal Bureau of Control, a super secret government agency dealing with all things paranormal. The moment you step into the FBC's headquarters, the oldest house, you know you're in for something special. The place is a shifting, surreal building that's just as much a character as anyone else in the game. One thing that really grabbed me about Control is the atmosphere. The visuals are stunning with a unique brutalist architecture that's both eerie and mesmerizing. The way the environment transforms around you is mind-bending and keeps you on your toes. The graphics are top-notch and the use of lighting and shadows adds to the creepy, otherworldly feel. The gameplay is where Control really shines. Jesse has these crazy telekinetic powers that make combat a blast. You can hurl objects at enemies, create shields from debris, and even take control of enemy mines. It's super satisfying to use these powers in creative ways, and the combat never gets old. Plus the service weapon, which can change forms, adds another layer of depth to the action. The story is mysterious and intriguing. It's full of bizarre occurrences and mind-bending twists that keep you hooked. There are tons of documents and recordings scattered throughout the oldest house that flesh out the lore, and I found myself going out of my way to find every bit of information. It's like a giant interactive puzzle that you piece together as you play. One night I remember playing Control with the lights off, headphones on, completely immersed in the experience. The sound design is incredible, with ambient noises and unsettling soundscapes that pull you deeper into the game's world.
It happened in the last drop. I'd really need an assist.
The voice acting is also top-notch, especially from Jesse's actress, who does a fantastic job bringing her character to life.
Only Ahti here seems to see that.
Yeah, hi, Ahti. Look, we need to get the lockdown.
Another thing I loved is how the game balances exploration and action. The oldest house is filled with secrets, and it rewards you for poking around and investigating every nook and cranny. The Metroidvania-style progression, where you unlock new abilities that let you access previously unreachable areas, keeps you engaged in constantly discovering new things. Control is a perfect game for when you want to break from massive open worlds and crave something more focused and narrative-driven. It's weird, it's wonderful, and it's a game that keeps you thinking long after you finish playing. So, if you're in the mood for a game that offers a unique blend of mind-bending story, satisfying combat, and a hauntingly beautiful world, give Control a try. It's an experience you won't soon forget.
Under the right conditions to other planes of existence as well.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Alright, let's dive into Jedi Survivor, a game that's perfect if you're tired of massive open worlds and want something more focused and action-packed. In Jedi Survivor, you play as Cal Kestis, one of the last Jedi who's on the run from the Empire. The story picks up after the events of Jedi Fallen Order. It's got a mix of intense lightsaber combat, exploration, and a gripping narrative that keeps you hooked. What really stands out in Jedi Survivor is the combat. It's all about lightsaber battles and using the Force. The combat feels tight and satisfying, whether you're blocking blaster shots or taking down stormtroopers. Plus, you can upgrade your skills, which makes the fights even more exciting. Visually, the game is stunning. The environments are detailed and varied, from lush forests to ancient ruins. The graphics really pull you into the Star Wars universe, making everything feel epic and grand. One thing I loved about Jedi Survivor is how it balances action with exploration. You get to climb, jump, and use the Force to solve puzzles. It's not just about fighting, it's also about discovering secrets and finding your way through challenging terrain. The story is engaging with well-developed characters and plenty of twists. You really feel for Cal as he struggles to survive and fight back against the Empire. The voice acting is top-notch, adding depth to the characters and making the story even more immersive.
What took you so long?
Oh, you know, just hanging out, taking in the sights. Been a while since I was on Coruscant.
If you're looking for a game that offers a mix of intense action and intriguing exploration, Jedi Survivor is a fantastic choice. It's a focused, story-driven experience that pulls you into the Star Wars universe and keeps you entertained from start to finish. Grab your lightsaber and get ready for an adventure you won't forget. Until Dawn. Alright, let's talk about Until Dawn, a game that's perfect for a thrilling, story-driven experience, especially if you're tired of massive open worlds.
Beauties is not the word that comes to mind. Why is this even here?
What do you mean?
In Until Dawn, you control a group of friends who've gone to a remote mountain lodge for a getaway. Things quickly turn dark and creepy when they realize they're not alone. The story unfolds over one terrifying night, filled with suspense, horror, and plenty of surprises.
Down, okay? Just we need to find out more.
I'm sorry, I am so sorry.
What do they mean?
What's awesome about Until Dawn is that it's like playing through a horror movie. The game is all about making choices that affect the story and the fate of the characters. Every decision you make can lead to different outcomes, so you need to think carefully. It's super engaging because you're always on edge, wondering if you made the right call.
I. B.
The library. Maybe there's something in the library.
B. R. O. O.
Proof. There's proof.
In the library.
One of the things I loved about Until Dawn is the cast. The characters are brought to life by some great acting, and you'll recognize a few familiar faces. The interactions between the characters feel real, and you get to know their personalities as the story progresses. It makes the stakes feel even higher because you actually care about what happens to them.
Yeah, alright. Wanna go do that?
Any place without that whore.
The gameplay is mostly about exploration and making decisions, but there are also quick-time events and puzzles that keep things interesting. The way the game switches between different characters and perspectives adds to the tension and keeps you guessing.
Nice one.
It's a game that's fun to play alone or with others, as you can discuss and debate the choices you make. It's perfect for a spooky game night.
Actually pretty simple.
Until Dawn is a great game to play if you're looking for a shorter, intense experience. It's about 8 to 10 hours long, which is perfect for a weekend or a few evenings. The replay value is high too because you'll want to go back and see how different choices affect the story. If you're looking for a game that offers a gripping, horror-filled adventure with plenty of twists and turns, Until Dawn is a must-play. It's a refreshing break from open-world games, providing a focused and thrilling experience that keeps you hooked from start to finish. Turn off the lights, get comfortable, and prepare for a terrifyingly good time.